So family is the basic unit of every society. Family is the foundation of every society. In fact, family is the building block of every society. So if you see a nation, society, or a people who are doing well, who are prospering, who are having upright individuals in those nations, then it means they are getting something right about their family structure and their family system. In fact, I've gathered 4 solid points that I'm going to give you to help you raise up an accurate family, raise up your children more accurately. And in fact, then to me, the last one is the best. So I want you to stick around and tell me which one you think is the best to you. If you find value in this video, give it a comment and give the video a thumbs up. So according to statistics, 57% of parents struggle with the most effective way to discipline their children. 69% say if they knew a more positive parenting strategy, they are going to use it. And almost 20% of parents believe that it is not necessary to invest time and resources to study about parenting. Now, I believe that everything in this life we learn about it. In fact, the average person spends around 21 years of their lives attending school or going to school. And someone will argue that even 60% of the things we learn in school, we don't really need in life afterwards. And sometimes certain things I feel we should learn in school are things that are inevitable, like marriage and parenting, bringing up children. These things, almost 90% of the human race go through it. You go through parenting, you go through marriage. So these things, I believe, are supposed to be added to our schooling. But anyways, so my first and most important point is, and one of my most important point is, let children ask questions. So one thing that I've realized in especially Africa is that we don't encourage kids to ask questions. Let us encourage them to ask a lot of questions, because while we are growing, or the grown-ups as they see us to be, we've accumulated a lot of experiences in life. All these experiences we've accumulated in life, we draw out the important ones, or we draw out what I call the nutrients from the fruits, or you draw out the food from the chaff. Okay, there are a lot of experiences we gather in life, some of which are very beneficial, other ones are not necessarily good. So by our experience, we have a lot to teach the up and coming generation. So we should encourage the kids to ask a lot of questions, anything you don't understand. In fact, basic questions like, why do you have to attend school every day? Why do you have to wake up and every day you have to add value to yourself? You have to study. Your kid can come to you and ask you, Daddy, why do I have to go to school and do my homework? Why do I have to read a book at least once a month? Why is that? They don't know why, so they have to ask. We have to encourage them. And the answer to their question will bring me to my second point. Now, also listen and ask your kids questions. So while they are asking you questions, sometimes instead of giving them a direct answer, there's a better way you can put it. You can rather throw the question back to them. Ask them the question. Maybe you have a kid come to you and go like, Daddy, why do we have to go to school? Why do we have to go to school weekly or daily? And you say, okay, so now, is Daddy having money or not? Does Daddy give you food to eat every day? Your child will go yes. Will say yes. Then you ask him, does Daddy buy you clothes to wear? Your child will say yes. You buy me clothes to wear. Then you tell them, does Daddy pay your school fees? Yes, Daddy pays my school fees. So you ask them, what do you think enabled Daddy to be able to have that amount of money to pay your fees and give you food to eat? Do you think if I didn't study, or I didn't have time to build myself and build my businesses, I'll have that much value and have that much money or wealth to take care of you? You ask the kids these kind of questions, they'll sit down and they'll think about it. The questions help them to reflect. So when you ask them that kind of question, they will say no. If you didn't study, you wouldn't have had that value to be able to take me to school or to be able to take care of me. They've answered their own question, and this kind of answer will never leave them. Why? Because you didn't just throw the answer directly at them. You encourage them to ask questions, and in your quest to answer their question, you ask them a question and they answer their own question. You see? Now, the third thing is motivate them with rewards. So, once again, in Africa, I've realized that when our kids misbehave, sometimes we tend to punish them a lot. We tend to grind the children. We will not give you your monthly allowance. You will not go and visit your friends. As we said, we will not buy you that game. We will not do this. We will not do that. Instead of this, we tend to punish them a lot. But sometimes when they do well, we should also encourage them by rewarding them. So when you reward them, you are encouraging the kids to do right next time. Next time they'll go and do something right, they'll come and say, "Mommy or Daddy, see what I've done." And you say, "Well done." Sometimes your reward might be as simple as clapping or getting them probably some chocolate. Just give them something, a reward that will encourage them. And in fact, my last and most important one is model the life you want them to become. Show them an example of what you want them to be. So if you want your child to be a very hardworking child, if you want him to live an upright life, you want him to be consistent in whatever they do, you are supposed to show that life to them every day. And if, as you are modeling the life, be consistent in it. In fact, light is faster than sound. Yeah? So, according to science, that is why, according to science, they say you see the lightning before you hear the thunder. So, normally kids speak more with their sight or with their eyes than what they hear. So, if you tell them to go and study, it's more likely they will not listen to you. It's more likely they will do what you are doing than listen to what you are telling them. Because what you are doing is right in front of them. What you are doing is like a movie. What you are doing is like live. That's what they can readily see. So the sense of the sight is very powerful. In fact, in my opinion, more powerful than sound. So you have to model the kind of life you want them to live. If you want them to live an upright life, live an upright life. If you want them to live a life of consistency, if you want to build them up in terms of business, you have to show them that in business, you have to wake up steady, build your brand, you have to do this and you have to do that. So that is it for today. If you found value in this video, give me a comment and catch you next time.